students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Art and Progressive School, going to start another chapter, that is chapter number 3, human reproduction. Okay, so in the previous classes we have done something about the reproduction, like what is reproduction, okay, in different organisms. Then we have done sexual reproduction in case of flowering plants, right? So here we are talking about the sexual reproduction in case of human beings, because in human beings there is only one method, that is sexual reproduction. Okay, and what is sexual reproduction? Means that need of two parents, right? Need of two parents as well as two types of gametes. Then there will be the fusion of male and female gametes, right? But in case of plants there may be some other reproduction also, like vegetative, asexual. But in case of human beings, only one type of reproduction, right? Here, so different characteristics are there, that is sexual reproduction it is. Then sexual dimorphism. What do you understand by this term? Di means two, okay, and morphism means morphology. It means that both the sexes having different morphology. It means that the structure of the male as well as female, they are not the same ones. They are showing some variation. On the basis of that we can identify it very easily. Okay, so they possess the sexual dimorphism in case of human beings. Okay, and the third point is what? It is viviparous. Viviparous means that they are giving birth to their young ones and they are giving the nutrition. Okay, they are taking care of them. So all these are the character of human beings during the reproduction. Okay, so here we will understand that whole events. Likewise, in case of plants, we have done that there will be three different events: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization events, right? So in sexual production, the first prerequisite is what? The pre-fertilization events. It means that whatever the events, it is going to take place before the fertilization. So here also there may be the gamete formation. In pre-fertilization events, what we have done, that gamete formation as well as the transfer of gametes. Okay, so here also in case of human beings, the first step will be what? Gametogenesis. And we know the meaning of this gametogenesis. What? Gameto relates to what? Gametes, male gamete as well as female gamete. Genesis word is what? To form. So here what we are going to do, we will study that how there will be formation of male gamete and how there will be formation of female gamete. In case of plants, we are having the male gamete, pollen grain, and the female gamete is what? The embryo sac. But in case of human beings, the sperm is the male one, okay, and the ovum will be the female one. So we want these two gametes here, and the production of these two types of gamete, it is nothing, it is the gametogenesis. So these events start from where? From the first, as well as in your NCERT's few events they have mentioned. Here I have added some more events. Okay, they have merged these events in the only one event. So here the first one is gametogenesis. Then once the gamete has been formed, okay, it should be moved from male to female. Okay, as we have done in case of the plants, there is a pollination. During the pollination, what is happening? The transfer of pollen grains, it will move towards the female stigma, right here. So same thing in case of human beings, insemination is that process or that event in which they are inserting the semen. Okay, insemination means, it means entry. Okay, semination relates to what? Semen. Semen is what? It is the sperm. Okay, and when we are using the word the semen, means sperm with the nutritional factor, right? So what they are doing to do, that the male part, okay, they are sending their sperms, or we can say semen, towards the female urogenital tract. This step is known as insemination. So they are inserting the semen into the female urogenital tract, right here. So second step is what? Insemination. Once insemination has been done, what will happen now? There will be the fertilization. So here what is happening? The fertilization will take place. How it will take place? As the ovum or the egg is producing by the ovary, it will reach towards what? For example, if I say that this is the female genital tract. Okay, So here if I'm saying that it is having the female genital tract, so here ovum is producing, okay, here also ovum is producing with the help of these ovaries, okay. So this ovum should reach towards the fallopian tube, okay, and from here, from the urogenital tract, what is happening, the sperm is getting inside, okay. So many sperms, it will move towards the female reproductive structure, okay, and from here this ovum will enter into the fallopian tube. So once they will reach at one place into the ampular region of the fallopian tube, they will get fertilized, okay. There will be fusion of male and female gamete and it will give rise to the zygote formation. So the third step is what, that there may be the fertilization when the gamete or when the male gamete will reach towards the female part, okay. So here we have to understand the we can say about the male reproductive structure as well as female reproductive structure, okay, as we have done in case of plants. For the male gametogenesis, okay, or for the pollen formation, we need the microsporogenesis, and here we need the megasporogenesis, okay. So likewise in case of human beings also, we should know the structure of the male part or the male reproductive unit as well as the female reproductive structure, okay. So one by one we are discussing here the event first, then we will move towards the reproductive structures, okay. Now comes to the another one, that is the cleavage. Cleavage is what, as I have said, if there will be fusion of male and female gamete, what it will form, it will form the zygote, that is 2 in number, okay. And this one is what, this is having the single cell. Zygote is what, it is a unicellular, right. And here there will be more and more cleavage will take place. Cleavage is what, it will be the division or it will be the faster division, as I will say about the cell cycle, okay, the cell division. So cell division and cleavage somehow same, but cell division takes some time and cleavage it will very fast, okay. If it is one cell, from one cell it is again dividing in two cells, then 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, okay. Like this number will get increased. So cleavage is what, when there will be mitotic division again and again, and due to this what is happening, from morula to blastula stage is there. Morula is what? It's a ball-like structure, okay. If there will be division in the zygote, what will happen? Initially it will be a ball-like structure, and after that what it will do? It will form some another structure or the blastula, and this blastula is important because this blastocyst, it will going to attach with the uterus, okay. So here what we have to understand, that implantation will take place, and how implantation, when there will be cleavage, and due to this continuous cleavage there will be formation of blastula stage or the blastocyst, and this blastocyst it will move here, okay, and out of these forms ones will get fused. So after the cleavage it will form the blastocyst, and this blastocyst will move towards this part and it will get attached here, okay. So here what is there, implantation will take place. What is implantation? To plant something. For example, if you are planting the seed, if you are planting the plants, so what you are doing, you are planting the seeds, you are planting the plants. Likewise here there will be plantation of this blastocyst, where in the wall, okay, in the uterine wall there will be plantation of this blastocyst, and this structure, this one is known as the implantation. And once implantation has been done, okay, so this, when this will reach here, it will connect to the female body, okay. And how it will connect? It will connect with the help of placenta, okay. Placenta is what? It is the connection between mother and the fetus, okay. And with the help of this placenta there will be transfer of nutrients from mother to the fetus, okay. So what will happen there? There will be placentation, okay. There will be connection of placenta here, and once placentation has been done, this structure, okay, which is an embryo now, initially it is the zygote, and when there will be division it will become embryo, and in this embryo again division will be there, okay. And due to this one, what is happening, there will be formation of layers, okay. It will enter into the gastrulation stage, and gastrulation stage is what? Forming different layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, okay. From each and every layer it will form some different structure of the body. For example, our heart, it is originating from the mesoderm. It is a mesodermally originated. It means that most of the organs of our body, it is coming from where? From the mesoderm. Okay, so likewise, what is the role of the ectoderm for the outer part, mesoderm for the glands, and endoderm for the inner gut, right? So here there will be another one, gastrulation. Okay, once the gastrulation has been done, there will be formation of organs. Okay, and formation of organ, it is known as what? Organogenesis. Okay, so each and every layer, it will be responsible for forming the organs here, right? Now it has been formed the fetus. It means that now everything is differentiated. So in organogenesis, what will happen? The body parts will get differentiated, and once it has been differentiated, what will happen? It will get mature, and as it will complete the whole period, or the 9 months in case of human beings, the baby will get expelled out from the mother's womb. Okay, and this process, it is known as what? Parturition. Okay, so all these 10 events, it is going to happen during the sexual reproduction case of human being. So from where we have to start? To form the gametes, and where we will end it? Into the parturition. It means that as there will be delivery. So what are the different steps it is going to happen during these events? Right here. So one by one we will start with the first one, that is a male reproductive system. Why we are studying the male reproductive system? It means that you must know the each and every structure, function of each and every structure, so that we can come to know that how there will be formation of male gamete. Okay, so here we have started from where? Formation of the male gamete, and to form the male gamete we should know about the male reproductive system. So likewise, to form the female gametes, we will study the female reproductive system. Okay, so in the male reproductive system, what are the different components which we have to study? Okay, so it is made up of two types. What are they? Primary sex organs and the secondary sex organ. Okay, so we can say that whether it is the male reproductive system or it is a female reproductive system, it consists of two things, the primary sex organ and the secondary sex organ. So what do you understand by the primary sex organ? It means that which is present in the body from the birth itself. Okay, so we can say this is the primary sex organ, and it is responsible for the secretion of hormones. Okay, what is the role of primary sex organ? First of all, they will form the gametes, and second thing, they are responsible for the secretion of hormones as well. Right here, as well as what is the role of secondary sex organ? It means that as we are entering to the puberty stage, and after the puberty stage, whatever the changes taking place in the body, okay, so that one you will call it the secondary sexual characteristics. Right? For example, the mammary glands in case of females, this is a part of secondary sex organ. Okay, so here we will understand that we in the male reproductive system we are having pair of testes. Okay, you can see in the diagram also that pair of, it is the whole reproductive system of male. It is made up of testes as well as the accessory ducts, then accessory glands and external genitalia. So what do you understand by all these things? Testes we will understand. Accessory ducts means that addition. Okay, so this testes it is what? It is a primary sex organ. Okay, or we can say it is a primary sexual characteristics. And another all three, it comes under the secondary sex organs. Okay, why we are calling it? Because what is the role of testes? It is forming the sperms. Okay, formation of gametes takes place with the help of this testes. Okay, then the hormone which will be secreted here, it will be the testosterone. Okay, so the role is completed. And what about the three these things? They are the secondary sexual characters. Okay, so here whatever the things addition to this testis, okay, they are helping. Okay, additional to it, like accessory ducts are what? Somehow the tube, the passage through which there will be secretion. Okay, likewise glands, these glands, they are also secreting something. All these are helping for the proper sperm. Okay, and the fourth part is external genitalia, which is very important. Why? Whatever thing has been formed here, it should be moved outward with the help of this genitalia. Right here, so we will understand one by one about the first one, that is a pair of testes. So testes, they are present in the paired form. Okay, so here what is happening? The testes, they are situated in the abdominal cavity. Abdominal cavity means that lower part, okay, lower stomach. So this comes under the abdominal cavity, and these testes, they are situated in a pouch like structure. Okay, so what is happening? This is the pouch like structure, and inside this one testes, they are present. Okay, and in this testes, what is happening, that they are situated in the abdominal cavity, and this pouch like structure where these testes are present, it is known as what? It is known as the scrotum. Okay, so the role of scrotum is very, very important. Why it is so? Because the scrotum is not attached, okay, it is somehow uh, away from the body. Why it is so? Because it is maintaining the temperature. Okay, so to form the sperms, we need the less temperature, or 2 to 2.5 degree Celsius less temperature from the human body. That's why it is hanging. Okay, if these are the legs, okay, if these are the legs, what is happening, that these testes, they are hanging here, okay, or the scrotum, and this scrotum, what is happening, testes are present in form of pairs right here, and here where it is forming in the abdominal cavity. It means that when there will be formation, that they are present in the abdominal one. Okay, these testes are situated or arising from where? From the abdominal cavity. But as after the 7th month, okay, this testes will move, okay, or it will descend into the scrotum. Initially there is no testes, okay, they are present in the abdominal cavity. So after the 7th month, this testes, it will move or it will descend into the scrotum, and where it will reach? It will reach here. So we can say this one, it is known as the inguinal canal. So what is that passage through which the testes will descend into the scrotum? It is known as the inguinal canal, right? And these scrotums are somehow hanging. Okay, so within a pouch, it is known as scrotum, and here this testis having some coverings. Okay, so here you can see that I have drawn the testis here. So this testis having some protective covering. Whenever we are talking about any covering, we are saying that it is known as a tunica. So tunica is what? It is somehow covering, and this covering can be divided into 3 layers. Okay, it is having 3 layers: the outer layer, middle layer, and the innermost layer. So the outermost layer which is present in this testis, or which is surrounded the testis, it is known as the tunica vaginalis. Okay, and the middle one, this one, you can see it here, it is tunica albuginea, and this is the fibrous one. Okay, this one is known as the tunica albuginea, and the innermost layer of the testis, it is what? It is the tunica vasculosa. So you have to memorize all these 3 layers because it is very, very important. Okay, now if I will take the cross section, it means that if I will cut it and I will see internally, how can you see it? So it means that internally this will divide it into different compartments. Okay, so if you can see this diagram here, what is happening, this has been divided into different compartments, and these are showing what? These are the compartments. So likewise there are approx 250 compartments. Okay, 250 to 300 compartments we can say, right? 250 to 300 compartments present internally here, and if compartments are there, what they are doing, they are differentiating, or they are providing some septa. Okay, so due to the septa, what is the testicular lobule? So what you will call it, each and having here what we will call it, testicular lobules. And what are these testicular lobules? These compartments we are calling it lobules. Okay, and each lobules, you can see it here, in each lobules we are having 2 to 3 seminiferous tubule. Again, very, very important line. Okay, so in each lobule, you can see here, this is one lobule. Okay, second, so in each compartment or in each lobules, you can see that they are having 1, 2, 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubule. Okay, these seminiferous tubule is what? It is somehow this type of structure. So what I mean to say, that as they are coiling structure, so it can be 1 or it can be 2, it can be 3 also. Okay, so initially it is in a coil form and somehow it will move straightwardly. Okay, so here how many I have drawn? I have drawn 3 seminiferous tubule which is highly coiled. Okay, and seminiferous tubule lined by 2 types of cell. What do you understand? Again, see here that these seminiferous tubule, okay, these are the structural and functional unit of testis. Why I am calling it? Because whatever the formation of sperm will take place, it will take place in the seminiferous tubule only. How it will take place? Again, we'll go for the cross section of this seminiferous tubule also. Okay, so what we have done till now, that this is the testis, it is having 3 covering. Okay, 3 coverings are these one, and internally it is divided into different compartments, or we can say testicular lobules, and each testicular lobules we are having 1 or 2, 3 seminiferous tubule. Okay, and in this seminiferous tubule there will be formation of sperms. Okay, and afterward it will move outside. So here, as we are talking about the seminiferous tubule, okay, if I will draw the structure of seminiferous tubule, any of the tube, it is like this. Okay, this is a tube, this is the hollow part. Okay, the outward layers, this tube is forming with some layers here. Okay, this is the germinal epithelium, from where it is the very primary cells, or we can say primordial cells. Okay, from these cells they will arise, or there will formation of sperms, right? So we can say that these are the germinal one, and here in between there are some triangular structure known as Sertoli cells. What is happening here? It is known as the Sertoli cells, and in center there will be the lumen with this space which you can see it here. Okay, through which what will happen? Whatever the sperm will form, it will reach here, and from here it will move outward. So what is happening? The outermost layer is present. Okay, and in between there will be the Sertoli cells which is going to give nutrition, and here internally again some more cells are there. One, for example, primary spermatocyte, likewise secondary spermatocyte, then there will be formation of spermatids. Okay, and these sperms it will form after it. So first of all, what will happen? This is the outermost layer which will undergo the mitotic division, and again there will be more division. Okay, likewise primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, then spermatids, and after it there will be formation of spermatozoa, and all these spermatozoa reached into this lumen and it will go outside, right here. So what I mean to say, that outside this one, outside the seminiferous tubule, you can imagine this structure here also. So outer to this seminiferous tubule, some more cells are present. Okay, some more cells are present, and these are known as interstitial cells. Okay, it means that some spaces are present, and in those spaces, those cells, it is known as the interstitial space, or the interstitial, or the Leydig cells. Okay, so how many cells we have to understand here? That these are the male germ cells. Okay, as well as these are the Sertoli cells, and these are the Leydig cells. So these male germ cells, they are producing the male gamete. That one is the sperm, and the sperm will get their nutrition from this Sertoli cells, as well as to initiate this one, we want the Leydig cells. What is the role of Leydig cells? It is releasing the androgen hormone. And what is the androgen hormone? Testosterone. So when it is secreting the testosterone hormone, it is giving the work for the formation of the spermatids, right here. So here we have completed that whatever the thing it is happening inside this testis, it is due to the seminiferous tubule. So we are having so many seminiferous tubule. How can you say like this? Because in each lobules we are having 3. I am taking the example 3. So in each lobule we are having, for example, 3 seminiferous tubule. Okay, so if we are having 300 lobules, okay, if we are having 300 lobules, so you can see that how many seminiferous tubules can be there? 300 into 3, 900 seminiferous tubule, and from this 900 seminiferous tubule we will get millions of sperms. Okay, so here we have completed the first one, that is the accessory ducts. Okay, the first one is pair of testes. In pair of testes we have completed, right? Now we will understand the what are the different accessory ducts here. Additional ducts which are important for the sperm production. Okay, so here if I will talk about the path of the sperm, so it has started from where? From the testis. Okay, in this testis, again functional unit is what? Seminiferous tubule. Now from the seminiferous tubule, okay, so from the seminiferous tubule what is happening in each lobe? You can see the same diagram that in each lobule we are having the seminiferous tubule, and from these seminiferous tubule, what is happening? There will be the formation of sperm. So these sperms will enter where? Into the another structure. It is known as a vasa recta. Okay, where all these seminiferous tubule, for example, these are the seminiferous tubule. So where all these seminiferous tubule, they are united at one place. Okay, this is known as the vasa recta. What it is? It is known as the vasa recta, and the structure, all the accumulation of all the vasa recta, what it is forming? It is forming the ratty testis. Okay, so you can see it here that all the seminiferous tubule, it will combine at one place, and from here it will reach towards the ratty testis. So ratty testis is what? When there will be all the seminiferous tubule will combine. Okay, and after this ratty testis, when all these will again attached. Okay, so this is what? This is the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia is what? It is the tubular or the coil structure of all the ratty testis. Okay, so now sperm will move towards where? Towards this vasa efferentia here, and after reaching here it will move towards the epididymis. Okay, and if you will see the male reproductive structure, it is what? It is a scrotum inside this testes, and from here epididymis is present, and from epididymis what will happen? It will move towards the vas deferens. Okay, so what is happening? Formation of the sperms from here, and it is moving like this. So after epidermis, what will happen? There will be tube-like structure. It is known as the vas deferens. It will carry it, and it will receive this is the duct will receive from the seminal vesicle to form the ejaculatory duct. It means that seminal vesicle is again another one which is going to release its secretion to this ejaculatory duct, and this ejaculatory duct again connected with the prostate gland, and from the prostate gland it is moving towards the urethra, and from urethra it will move towards the penis, and it will move outside. Okay, and the external opening of this penis, it is known as what? It is known as the urethral meatus. Okay, so it means that urethra is what? Which will get the secretion from the prostate also, as well as from the bulbourethral gland also. Okay, it means that it is getting secretion from both the sides. So how you are getting it? You can see in the diagram, and from diagram it will be clear that how it is moving. Okay, so the path it will be easier. So here we have completed about the second part, the ducts which is moving. Once it has been reached here, there are some accessory glands. These are what? These are the accessory gland. It means that seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and pair of bulbourethral gland, all these are attached. Okay, so what is happening? Seminal to prostate, okay, and in urethra it is connected to the bulbourethral also. So one by one we will understand what is the role of these three glands, and combinedly the secretion of all these three glands, it is what? It is the seminal plasma. Okay, seminal plasma is what? When the sperms or the spermatozoa we are getting from here. Okay, after the maturation of the spermatids which is coming from this part through the epidermis, it's not that much activated. Okay, it is not having any nutrition. So this one will get its nutrition from where? From the seminal plasma. Okay, if there will be no seminal plasma, there will be no formation of proper semen, and there must be a insemination. Okay, so what we can say it? Seminal plasma is what? secretion of all three glands combinedly. Why? Because it contains some nutrients like fructose, calcium, enzymes, and due to this what will happen? They are having the power to, or they are having power to move from male part to the female part very easily. Okay, so mobility can be increased. So what they are doing, this seminal plasma, it is providing the nutrition to the spermatozoa. Okay, spermatozoa is what? It is a mature one. Okay, so now what is the role of seminal vesicle? They are connected to the reproductive system as it is providing the mobility. Okay, it means that it is providing some mucus or the watery substance. What it is doing? It is providing some watery substance or the mucus substance, and due to this it is providing the nutrition. Okay, so whatever the things is present, fructose, it is present in the seminal vesicle, right? Then comes to the prostate gland. As the prostate gland, it is giving the secretion, and here we have given the example of prostaglandin. So what they are doing, they are providing the milky substances. So okay, so the milky fluid which it is coming here, it is due to what? Due to the prostate gland. Okay, if it is not there, what will happen? There will be no proper mobility. It means that movement is very easier due to what? Due to the prostate gland. Okay, now comes to the bulbourethral gland. This gland also attached here, and what it is doing, it is neutralizing the acidity, okay, acidic nature of the urogenital tract. We know that in the urogenital tract the pH is higher, okay, or the acidic pH is there. So when the insemination will be there, what will happen? It should not be acidic. So this acidic nature will get neutralized by this bulbourethral secretion. If there will be more acidity, what will happen? They will not going to move further. Okay, it will restrict all the sperms there only in the urogenital tract. So they have to move upward so that there will be no acidity, and due to this there will be a proper lubrication of penis also. Okay, so the lubrication of penis also done by the bulbourethral gland secretion. Okay, so all this will reach towards the urethra, and from urethra it will move towards the penis, and with the external opening it will move outside. Okay, now we know that about the whole path, how it is moving. You have to memorize each and every step here. Now comes to the fourth one, which is also part of external of the male reproductive system here, as the external genitalia is a secondary sexual characters, right? So what will happen? Penis is there. Penis is what? It is a spatial tissue, and if there will be having some spatial tissue, okay, it is providing erection of the penis, right? So what is happening here? This erection of penis is very important. Then only there will be insemination. Okay, for proper insemination, erection of penis is important, and for erection there must be a spatial tissue here, right? And it's a large end. We know that if it will get erected, it will form the large end. It is known as the glans penis. Okay, and this glans penis is covered by some loose fold skin, which is known as the foreskin. So here what is important? Each and every term is very important right here. And after that, after the penis, we are getting the semen, and this semen is important for the insemination. And what is the semen? This is the combination of sperm plus seminal plasma. So we cannot say only sperm is sufficient. Okay, for the proper fertilization in that sperm, there must be a seminal plasma, and this is coming from where? From this accessory glands right here, and the pH should be 7.2 to 7.7 so that there will be a proper fertilization right here. So today we have completed the reproductive system, in which we have done different parts of the male reproductive system. Now in the next class we will study about the gamete formation. Okay, how the gamete will form. Here if I will talk about the gamete formation, it is known as a spermatogenesis. Okay, in which there will be production of sperms right here. So that's all for today. Thank you.